Coming up on this edition of ATV News.
I spent a lot of time in Old Main, so it's really surreal to be back.
An Aggie alum is sitting in the president's office. We'll show you his plans for Utah State in an interview you'll only see here.
I apologize for putting for anyone in that position.
Utah State's student body vice president was kicked out of the Howell under the influence. He lied to police about his identity. Coming up, we'll show you a one-on-one interview where he asks for a second chance.
Fall has stuck around a little longer than usual. I'll tell you if it's time to bring out those winter coats with your upcoming forecast.
All that and more, this is ATV News.
From the campus of Utah State University, the Department of Communication and Media presents the award-winning newscast, ATV News.
I would study right out here. I would see the administrators in their suits and dresses walking back and forth between these offices here. And I wondered, I'm like, what do those people even do? But it must be important.
From attending classes in Old Main to having his own office, President Mortensen tells us what it's like to be back 30 years later. Welcome to this edition of ATV News. I'm Kinsey Bitterman.
And I'm Evan Van Wagenen.
This is Brad Mortensen's first week in office as Utah State University president, and we spoke with him about how his time as a student here will impact his role as president. Alice Archibald joins us live from Old Main. Alice, what did President Mortensen share with you?
I spoke with Mortensen 30 years ago, used to study right here in Champ Hall, and now his office is right behind me. Even with the busyness of his first week on the job, Brad Mortensen spent his time with students.
One of the student senators saw me and said, hey, we're having Friendsgiving at 7 if you want to stop by. That's the best part of working at a college and university, is seeing the students and being part of their journey and helping them have that confidence.
A former student of Utah State University,
I have all these little flashbacks.
Mortensen graduated summa cum laude in 1995 with a bachelor's in political science. He says 30 years later, he sees himself in the students he now presides over.
It helps me to think about where their future could lead them, and we want to make sure we're doing everything at Utah State today to help them to tap into that potential.
Mortensen even joined students in some of his favorite Aggie traditions.
It was unbelievable, really, to stand on the ladder, and I got a little emotional at that moment. This isn't even a dream because it's beyond a dream.
Our last president, President Cantwell, she spent more than $500,000 on office renovations and vehicles. Are you planning to do anything to the office, drive the golf cart around, anything along those lines? What's
spent has been spent, and I just want to be really cognizant with how we're using university funds. Don't plan on buying any new vehicles or new golf carts.
How are you planning to address some of that mistrust that people have for the administration?
I think maybe some of the criticism comes from a lack of transparency around that, and it's really true that everything you need to succeed is what you learned in kindergarten. Be honest, be transparent, don't try to hide things. And I know it will take a while to earn people's trust. I don't expect that on day one, but that's my goal.
Mortensen is also working on resubmitting USU's reinvestment plan for House Bill 265 after the previous plan was denied.
Hopefully before the legislative session starts in January that we can get that $12.7 million restored. I'm confident that as we delve into that and figure out what the concerns were from our lawmakers, that we'll be able to find a path to move that forward.
Mortensen says he hopes to be there for students.
I would want students to know that I'm their champion and advocate, always here for their success. You, students, have all the potential in the world. Sometimes you just need a little boost, and if I can do that in any way, I'm willing to do that.
Now, he doesn't have any pictures from back in the day, but Mortensen and his wife are true Aggies. Reporting live from Champ Hall, I'm Alice Archibald, ATV News.
Thank you, Alice.
Utah State's student vice president admits to breaking school rules and is fighting to get his position back. In a one-on-one interview you'll only see here, Kaylee Moss shows you why he believes he deserves a second chance.
The Howl, one of the biggest and loudest parties here, held right behind me at Utah State University.
Po Okilla Yamakashi Singh
was the Utah State University Student Association Vice President in Logan, who was removed from the Howell for showing up under the influence.
Firstly, I'm going to admit what I was accused of did happen. I was intoxicated at the Howell.
In a report filed by police, when Poe was approached by the police, he gave false information about his identity, including that he went to the University of Utah.
I'm currently 20. So
You're currently 20.
I said I was 21, and I was not.
Okay. And then you provided a false name.
Yes. Well, I provided my middle name, so that's what was the difference.
When student officials are elected, they swear to uphold the standards of USU.
I also broke standards.
5 days after the Howell, Poe was called to a hearing here in the TSC Maple Room and was removed from office.
A couple individuals on that hearing board that had personal relationships with me. I was given notice of my trial a day before.
Colin Hastings is the student advocate vice president and decided who sat on Poe's hearing board.
He was given notice of the date and time of his trial, 24 hours exactly in notice, which is in line with our bylaws.
Poe is now trying to appeal. So what are you hoping will come from this?
If I didn't care about this position, I wouldn't do all this work. I wouldn't appeal. I would just move on with my life, focus on school. I care about this position.
Kaylee Moss, ATV News.
Poe is still waiting to hear if he will receive a second hearing for his appeal.
Veterans Day looked a little different this year on campus. Air Force cadets walk up and down the quad from dawn till dusk. In the center, there's a memorial for prisoners of war or those missing in action. Students and families join the cadets on the quad, placing flags near the memorial in tribute to those who have served.
Some gave the ultimate sacrifice for us, and it is a blessing and a privilege to live here and to be able to teach my kids about those that have given for us.
Typically, Veterans Day on campus begins with an opening ceremony. This year, the ceremony was canceled due to the governmental shutdown. Air Force cadets and the captain declined interviews because of that shutdown.
It can be hard for officers to separate work and home, leaving them to balance mental health issues. Kaylee Moss finds out what resources they do have.
At Utah State University, this badge and furry face are seen all around.
So the thing that I enjoy, especially being on campus, is the interaction that we have with our community.
As a campus officer, Shane Nebaker doesn't have the typical duties of an officer.
Typically out walking around somewhere and patrolling around, usually on foot, and it gives me a chance to meet a lot of people.
Interacting with students and his dog Sage can be fun, but he really does this because
We're really there to protect our community.
But one shift can change everything.
Sometimes a lot of things that we deal with are very difficult.
Officer Nebaker and Sage have been involved with therapy sessions for other officers and helped with the funeral for 2 police officers in September. The officers were shot and killed while responding to a domestic violence call.
It became very real for me in the fact that it is tough to turn off your mind and go home and just be me.
I have Jenga here representing the balancing act some officers might face with their mental health. So when 1 or 2 officers are killed in the line of duty, some officers' mental health could collapse. The question is, what are the resources available for these officers to rebuild? Studies from Sound Thinking show that police officers experience depression at nearly double the rate of the general population. Officer Nebaker lost 2 of his friends who were killed in the line of duty over 5 years ago.
Eventually I did reach out and get help through counseling. I spent a lot of time with a counselor for a couple of years to kind of help me get back to finding a way to navigate those traumas.
USU campus police have access to Utah State University's counseling and prevention services. They have peer support teams as well. But Officer Nebaker says most importantly,
we do have some very close relationships as officers. And a lot of times it helps us to be able to kind kind of decompress as we work a scene, as we do something that's very difficult. We can lean on each other.
Kaylee Moss, ATV News.
If you or an officer you know is struggling, email dpmsmentalhealth@utah.gov. What an adorable dog. I'll have to keep an eye out for her as I walk around campus.
Yes, Sage is so cute, and I bet she is enjoying this warm weather. And speaking of that, Sarah Mitchell joins us at the desk.
Yes, I bet Sage is loving this weather, but she may change her mind later this week. Taking a look outside, students are enjoying the last bit of crisp air before we experience some winter activity later this week. The current temperature is 61 degrees.
Coming up, we'll show you how a small club here on campus brought in roughly $64,000 amongst show cattle breeders in the Intermountain West region. And for what?
Body language can tell you all sorts of things. Like someone is having a stroke. Know the sudden signs. Learn fast. Face drooping, arm weakness, speech difficulty. Time to call 911 and get them to a hospital immediately. Learn the body language and spot a stroke fast.
Look at me. Hey.
Raymond, look at Mommy.
Maybe the light hurts his eyes.
Maybe she's just not hungry. Maybe he can't hear us. Maybe we're not stimulating him enough. Maybe it's a phase.
Avoiding eye contact is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today. The sooner it's diagnosed, the better.
A rare and spectacular sight lit up the skies of Cache Valley. The northern lights were seen across the United States due to a very strong geomagnetic storm. Welcome back from the break. My name is Sarah Mitchell. First of all, taking a look at our national radar, you can see that over here on the East Coast, they have bands of storms affecting that general area. As we move to the West Coast, you can see that there are also some bands, but they will affect us later this week. Let's take a look at our current state forecast. As you can see, in central Utah, there is a large cell of storms with rain and snow impacting both. Let's take a look of how that will later affect us this week. Today we had a high of 62 degrees and a low of 40 degrees. On Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, we have some pretty good fall temperatures as we get that last bit of fall air. We have storms later this week on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. They will have both rain and snow in them, which would be our first snowfall of the year. It's looking like it's time to pull out those winter coats as we're kicking off winter, and you're all caught up on weather. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Sarah. Thousands of dollars raised for Intermountain West region cattle breeders, all because of a small group of Utah State University students. Our Kinsey Bitterman takes you behind the scenes and shows you how it all comes together.
This is not your typical customer, nor is it your typical salon appointment. The haircut style shaped up around the edges and fluffed in the middle. We were looking at 6 to 8 month old show calves getting groomed so that they look fabulous for their soon-to-be new owners.
We've been feeding them and getting them all ready.
After their salon appointment, the Utah State University's Animal Science Club takes the calves out to rest to prep for the sale.
The purpose of this sale is to acquire product that's very reputable.
The club hosts a sale every year right here at the University South Farm in Wellsville, and they do it all for the youth.
And their age might surprise you.
Here to get a show steer to show at the county fair.
Hannah Nielsen has been showing steers since she was 8 years old, and she's now
12.
And her favorite part of raising and showing cattle?
The check.
For club members, it's so much more.
I've built a lot of friendships within this club.
Not just friendships, but an opportunity to give back.
It's good, just to look back and try to help the ones that are starting out again, because it makes me remember when I first started out.
Kinsey Bitterman, ATV News.
The Animal Science Club invites all the calves they sold to a jackpot show in April. The highest selling calf this weekend sold for $5,300. Those cows were also really cute.
So cute. Do you guys want to hear a cow joke?
Absolutely. Absolutely down.
What do you call a cow with a twitch?
I don't know, what?
Beef jerky.
No, I gotta
good.
say, my favorite cow was a guy named Chad. And speaking of cows, USU dropped an absolute cow-sized win this last weekend on top of Nevada. Coming up, our Aggies took on the Nevada Wolfpack last Saturday. I will give you scores, highlights, and more.
They gave me Vicodin after my knee surgery. They kept prescribing it, so I kept taking it. I didn't know it would be this addictive. I didn't know how far I'd go to get more.
Opioid dependence can happen after just 5 days. Know the truth, spread the truth.
First, they said cigarettes were safe. We know how that turned out. Now, they say they didn't market e-cigarettes to teens? Fact, more than 1 in 4 high school students are vaping, and 80% say their first e-cigarette was flavored. Vaping is harmful to developing brains. The reason we think vaping is safe? Marketing. Same lies, different day. Tell Big Vape to quit lying. First,
Welcome to ATV Sports. I'm Chase Ekman. The Aggies have remained undefeated at home, but there were a couple wolves trying to ruin that. Our own Utah State Aggies took on the Nevada Wolfpack this past Saturday, and fans had barely sat in their seats when quarterback Bryson Barnes uncorks a 53-yard touchdown pass to wide receiver Brady Boyd to kick the scoring off 7-0, and the fun doesn't stop there. Barnes connects with receiver Anthony Garcia for a very nice 22-yard gain, setting up back Miles Davis to punch it in. Aggies now up 14-0. The first quarter air attack continues when Barnes connects with Braden Pagan for a 43-yard gain, giving kicker Tanner Rinker the easy 32-yard field goal. Aggies up 17-0. Nevada tries clawing their way back into this game until Brevin Hamblin picks the ball off and takes it 38 yards to the house for a pick six. Aggies running away with it, 24-zip. Nevada starts the second quarter with the ball just to give it right back, setting up for this beautiful pitching catch in the end zone for Anthony Garcia. Aggies blowing the door wide open, 34-0. And Bryson could do no wrong this game. 288 passing yards to go with 3 touchdowns and spinning people out of their shoes. This leads Miles Davis to get his second touchdown on the day. Aggies dominating the first half, 41-0. The second half starts just like the first with another dime from Barnes to Boyd on his career day of 5 receptions, 117 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Score now 48-0. Nevada decides to join the party with quarterback Chubba Purdy hitting Caleb Ramser for a 41-yard touchdown. Nevada on the board, 48-7. The hits just keep coming for Nevada as Purdy throws a 34-yard touchdown to tight end Jet Carpenter. Nevada still down 48-14, but the fun stops there for Nevada as freshman Noah White takes this pass 62 yards and just shy of the end zone, setting up Rinker for his third and final field goal. Utah State Aggies taming the Nevada Wolfpack 51-14. Our Aggies are now 1 win away from becoming bowl eligible, taking on UNLV this Saturday at 5 p.m. The Friday night lights were just a little bit brighter this past weekend for the high school football playoff. Ridgeline took an undefeated record into the 4A semifinal playoff game against Park City. First quarter kicks off with Ridgeline's quarterback Nate Daly finding his favorite target, wide receiver Graham Livingston. Livingston would finish the game with 11 receptions for 106 yards, setting up Daly for his first rushing touchdown of the day, moving the score 7-0. Park City attempts to answer back when quarterback Josh Hofer throws an interception to Ridgeline's linebacker Cooper Clark, running it all the way back for a touchdown, moving the score 14-0. Ridgeline didn't stop their dominant first quarter just yet when Ridgeline's running back Noah Fafia got 15 of his 73 yards on the day between the 2 runs, ending with a touchdown, moving the score 21-zip. Second quarter started with more of the same. Nate Daly finding senior wide receiver Brady Cook with this impressive 30-yard pitching catch, but Park City starts to show signs of life with senior linebacker Alex Brannigan getting his first and only sack of the game. But just as Park City starts gaining momentum, it's washed away with Cooper Clark's second pick six of the day, moving the score 28-0. Ridgeline continues their ground assault, running it all the way to the 50-yard line, leading to this monster 50-yard rushing touchdown for Nate Daly. His second of the day, Ridgeline now leading 35-0. The third quarter keeps a ground and pound style with a 27-yard rushing touchdown from junior back Hudson Perry. Ridgeline up by a whopping 42-0. But the fourth quarter starts with a good drive from Park City, sparked by a scramble from quarterback Hofer and this pass to junior wide receiver Brogan Price, leading Park City to their first and only points of the night, a field goal by kicker Tanner Pidwell. But this was Ridgeline's game through and through. Nate Daly ended the game with 320 total yards, 2 rushing touchdowns, and the last passing touchdown thrown to senior wide receiver Hunter Knighton, ending the game with a final score of 49-3. Ridgeline will be facing off against the Provo Bulldogs tomorrow for the 4A High School Championship. You're all caught up on sports. Back to you guys at the desk.
There's a new shop in town all focused on highlighting the old. Carter Chatterton, a communications student, shows us how decades of style might feel new again.
What are you up to?
I don't know when it happened. It happened somewhere, but like vintage and thrifting, like came back. Like it never died, like, but it like came back. You're like kind of like a vulture where you're like, oh, who died today? Like, what dead things am I gonna get? Like, oh, look, grandma died. Ooh, like, you know, it's just this weird, like, you just feel like awful, like going through somebody's like loved ones things, you know. And on top of that, my husband was always like, gosh, you're like a devil woman. So I just kind of like, you know, combined it and was like, like, you know, I think that's great, like the Vixen's vintage. I just want to encourage people to just like, first off, like, just feel like it's okay. Like, it's okay. Like, it's okay to express yourself. It's okay to try new things. It's okay to screw up. It's okay to like be different. So I don't necessarily have like a size range, a gender, you know, it's just like basically anybody who likes what I like. Come have a good time, play dress up. Like, don't be afraid to try it on if it's gonna look ugly or if it's not gonna fit you. So what, who cares? Like one girl, she was like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do if I rip your clothes? It'll be ripped, who cares? Like, did you try it on? Did you have a good time? No? Okay, that's all that matters.
Oakton opened her store in September of 2025. She hopes people can enjoy trying vintage clothing on and having fun while doing it.
Thank you for joining us on this edition of ATV News.
You can watch this and other editions on our Facebook page.
We will leave you with shots of Veterans Day.
Have a great week, Cache Valley.